In a remote corner of the world, where maps fade into blank spaces and secrets fester in shadows, two elite snipers were sent to guard an invisible line. On one side stood Levi, a former Marine Corps sniper with 113 confirmed kills, each more difficult than the last. On the other was Drasa, a Lithuanian sharpshooter. Both were alone in their respective towers, tasked with patrolling the edges of a mysterious gorge that no one dared enter. Levi's journey began when he received a cryptic letter summoning him back to federal property. Haunted by nightmares and deemed unfit for service by military psychologists, he lived a solitary life, taking private contracts out of necessity rather than passion. When Bartholomew briefed him on his new mission, she revealed little beyond its isolation. He would parachute into a restricted zone, hike 38 kilometers north through dense forests, and take over a post deep within enemy territory, or so it seemed. His destination? A fortified tower overlooking a ravine bristling with mines, traps, and secrets buried deeper than anyone cared to uncover. Drasa's story unfolded elsewhere, in a small Lithuanian village cemetery, where her father played Bach beside her mother's grave. Her father knew about her latest contract, a Balearian oligarch responsible for selling phosphorus bombs and anti-personnel mines. And though he mourned the lives lost because of such men, he reminded Drasa of the greater good she served by killing him. She handed him a shell casing from her kill, which he carefully placed among others. There was something weighing heavily on Drasa's mind. Her father, terminally ill, had decided to end his suffering on Valentine's Day. Before she leave, he asked her to light a candle, look at Orion, and say goodbye wherever she might be on February 14th. With this bittersweet farewell, Drasa set off for Moscow, unaware of the horrors awaiting her across the gorge. Levi arrived at his tower after days of arduous travel. Jasper, the soldier he relieved, greeted him warmly but offered few answers. The outpost was fully autonomous, equipped with solar panels, generators, and rainwater collection systems. Game was plentiful, and a garden thrived on the opposite side of the gorge. Yet, despite these comforts, Levi couldn't shake the feeling of unease. Jasper warned him about the Hollow Men, creatures rumored to inhabit the gorge, though neither truly believed the tales. They were simply stories passed down from predecessors, like the graffiti etched onto the walls of the tower. Across the gorge, Drasa settled into her own routine. At night, she gazed across the chasm, wondering who watched from the other side. One evening, curiosity got the better of her. Spotting movement through her binoculars, she fired her gun not to kill, but to get attention. A single shot echoed through the valley, startling Levi. Through his scope, he saw her holding up, asking for his name. Despite regulations forbidding contact, Levi obliged, writing his name on paper, before suggesting they share a drink in celebration of her birthday. Thus began an unlikely friendship. They exchanged messages. Their fragile peace was shattered when she notices movement from the gorge. Levi grabs his rifle and spotted grotesque figures scaling the walls of the tower. These weren't ordinary enemies. They were monstrous hybrids of plant and animal, their twisted forms resembling living trees. Drasa fought valiantly, but the creatures kept coming, their branch-like limbs clawing at her defenses. Without hesitation, Levi opened fire, his bullets eliminating the creatures. Together they managed to stop them, though not without cost. Mines exploded along the edge, sending debris flying. When silence finally fell, they sat stunned in disbelief, processing what had just happened. At dawn, becoming conscious after her injury, she wrote a simple message to Levi. "Best birthday ever." Levi resets the mines and they notice a drone flying around. Clearly, something else was going on there. Anyway, they ignore it. Months pass, they grew more closer, celebrated Christmas together, played chess, and even orchestrated drum battles using whatever objects they could gather. Music became their bridge, with Drasa playing piano melodies that drifted across the gorge while Levi listened intently. For brief moments, the loneliness lifted. At February the 14th, realizing that her father passed on, she cries and mourns. She writes a message to Levi, which said she was having a tough day and she wishes somehow he could be there with her. The feelings were mutual, and so he ties the rope to one end of the rocket launcher and fires it to the other side. Drasa extinguishes the fire and comes back excited. Levi asks her out for dinner and get ready to finally meet her. After a while, he goes to the other side, not being bothered of what's going down below in the gorge. Anyway, they enjoyed their time together, sharing fragments of their pasts. Levi spoke of his childhood in Oregon, where his father taught him to shoot. Drasa recounted memories of her father, whose wisdom guided her even now. Their conversations deepened, revealing vulnerabilities neither had shown before. The both had fallen in love, truly. But now, Levi had to return to his side of the tower. After kissing goodbye, he leaves. But when the Hollow Men climbs up the tower and sets off the mines, the zipline breaks, and Levi fell into the gorge. Now Drasa jumps in after him, but she landed in a current and nearly got herself killed. While Levi was unconscious because of the fall, and he was stuck because of the parachute. When he finally wakes, he realizes that he is in terrible danger. He shoots the creature, freeing himself, only to fall into the next trap. But Drasa was there to save him. They planned to get out of the forest as quick as possible, but they were already been spotted by the Hollows. They were riding on horseback. Levi and Drasa opens fire, shooting them down, but one of them got away. While she got trapped in the river, Drasa lost the auto-ascender, and so they don't have a way back to the top. They stumbled upon remnants of uniforms dating back to the 1940s. The discovery led them to explore the gorge, venturing into its labyrinthine depths. What they found defied comprehension. Partially demolished structures, human remains fused with vegetation, and evidence of a catastrophic experiment gone wrong. In an abandoned laboratory, they uncovered footage detailing a secret coalition of nations attempting to create a biochemical weapon during World War II. An earthquake had unleashed the contamination, transforming people into monstrous hybrids. The revelation shook them to their core. If they showed signs of infection within 5 days, they too would become part of the gorge's horrors. But survival wasn't their only concern. Dark Lake, a huge corporation which specializes in genetic research, sought to weaponize the mutations in order to create next-gen super soldiers. Realizing they had been lied to and the threat posed to humanity, that this could get out of hand, Levi and Drasa resolved to destroy the gorge, regardless of the personal cost. But they had to escape first and soon, before they get infected as well. Their plan hinged on triggering the stray dog protocol, a thermal bomb designed to annihilate the gorge in case of a breach. They navigate through a gauntlet of hollow men and mutated horrors. One of them took Drasa hostage. Levi saved her before she get killed. United by purpose and peril, they pressed onward, fighting their way through tendrils and roots until they found a functional jeep. Using the vehicle's winch, they ascended the cliff face, battling hollow men every inch of the way. Just as they neared the top, Levi spills propane and fire up the hollows, causing the jeep to plummet, and they cut the rope loose. Exhausted but alive, they reach Drasa's tower, and they decide to quarantine themselves to make sure that they are not infected. Bartholomew saw that both Levi and Drasa was down in the gorge, and that they found out the truth, so she dispatched a helicopter to eliminate them. Hiding in the forest, they fought back, triggering a chain reaction of explosions that exposed the gorge to the outside world. The gorge erupted in flames, consuming everything. Levi jumps into the river, leaving Drasa to wait 5 days in a nearby cave. Though presumed dead, Levi reappeared months later in France, where Drasa had started anew. Working in a cafe, she spotted him sitting at a table. Levi explained that his injuries had delayed his return and that now he is back for good.